Hey, Cindy. Oh, Anita's here too. How's the hubby doing, Anita? And Janice. So we got a few folks come on pretty early, and that's great. Now, I haven't really decided what I want to do, but I do have my FOC out that I got, my latest one I got from Randy. I haven't done anything with it yet, so I picked, well, I did. I opened it up and looked at it, and then sort of changed the baggies the beads were in. Hi, Kimberly, because most of them were in those little cellophane wraparound baggies with a little bit of glue strip on them, and they irritate me because they're hard to get open. As everybody who's been watching Molly do the sales knows, she's like, I can't get this open. Well, yeah, that's because they're a little difficult to get open. But so I switched them into regular little baggies, which are a bit easier to get open. So we'll wait a few minutes, see if more folks come on. And hey, Susan. And then we'll get started here. Decide what we're going to do. Like I said, sometimes easier said than done. Hey, Cindy, otherwise known as Me Moss Beads. I like to call people by their real names. Hey, Beth. But we have so many of some names that sometimes that's a little difficult because then they go, I'm not sure which one you're talking to. So I put a few more things onto my Etsy shop yesterday. One of the turquoise necklaces that I've made recently, and hey, Leah, and a couple pair of earrings that we've made. Of course, I have still a ton of stuff I haven't put anywhere, haven't even priced, so I need to price stuff and put them either in my Etsy shop or into my craft kits, but we'll get with it sooner or later. One of the ways to straighten up. My hubby's doing pretty good. He still gets a neck ache and he says his hip hurts sometimes because when he fell, he hit hip first and then his head. But he's more complaining about his hip and his neck than he is his head. But he had a car wreck a number of years back and he has a brain shear, so he always has migraines. So, he'll say, well, and I'll ask, well, how's the head doing? And he says, well, I got a migraine, but hey, what else is new? So unfortunately, these things, that's the way they are. How is your hubby doing, Anita? Hey, Dorothy. Loved my boxes, huh? Well, I did a little something yesterday. I got those tinier boxes and hi Tammy, and I've been thinking that I might take the smaller boxes and put some of the charms and things that I only have, a couple of into the smaller boxes so they don't take up so they don't take one of the big boxes. And my order from Randy had a whole bunch of orange beads in them. And so I took one of those boxes with the big slots that I've been putting the charms in and put the orange beads from Randy's order into one of those. And it's only half full because I want to just keep my colors separated. But I've got lots of other orange, like I've got lots of carnelians, so they can fill up that orange box. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh, I see Mary came on. Oh, good. That is so wonderful, Mary. You got your gas line fixed and you have a warm house and hot water again. That must be glorious. I know it would be wonderful for me. I'm so sorry that you suffer from migraines, Leah. I get them occasionally. When I was younger, I used to get them all the time. I actually went to the neurologist quite a few times because I had an uncle that died at 21 from a brain tumor, so they were afraid when I started having severe migraines frequently that might be it. But weirdly enough, mine are triggered by cheese. So, food can definitely trigger your migraines. So, so you gotta watch that. And if you can figure out what it is, keep away from it. So nowadays, if I'm going to have like pizza or lasagna or something I know has cheese, then I have to take some medication before I do. But yeah, so Steve frequently gets migraines due to the car wreck and having had the brain shear. Especially if he gets stressed or upset about something, they just almost instantly come on, and that's not fun. But oh, good, Dorothy. I'm glad your husband is getting better from his surgery. That I assume it went really well since he said he's recovering. So I do have my FOC. Figured we could look at that, and then I can decide if there's something I want to make with that. Now, there's some really fun things in this time that I really like, but how do I want to put them together? I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out. Now, the members, those of you who are not members, but if you wish to be a member, hey Dubby, it's $4.99 a month, and you get members live, which is actually this afternoon at 1 o'clock Mountain Time, and then you get the videos, the recorded videos early, and sometimes you even get a video that's solely for members only. I don't do very many of those, but I do a few. So, and then up to 31 today. It's supposed to be 32 today for us, which is wonderful because it's been way down in the single digits and cold, but it's supposed to get warmer by this weekend. Oh, that's too bad, Leah. Yeah, being horrible. Ooh, -18. Tammy, where are you at? Hey, Priscilla. But and of course, if you are a member and we get 25 members, of course, if you'll recall, we got that contest going on. We'll do a contest for that logo mug, which I have sitting up here above me. And I actually got ordered a second one. So if we get to 50, maybe we'll do another drawing for the of course it's backwards because my IRG is backwards on there, from what you can see. But this is the mug that we will do a random drawing for when we reach 25 members. We're getting closer. I think we're at 18 or 19 right now. So just a few more to go. Oh, yeah. Well, when I used to get mine really bad, I don't get them as bad now because I know some of my triggers and I avoid them if possible. Sometimes it's stress, because stress migraines happen, obviously. And I used to get what they called an aura. You could, see like fuzz around, and I'd need to be in a dark room with a damp cloth across my eyes or I was just in misery. But, well, in misery anyway, but really cold, huh? "22 in Virginia and snowing again." Mary, aren't you in Virginia also? I know that Mary and I think it's Karen are relatively close to each other, but I can't remember. I'm fairly positive it's Virginia, isn't it, Mary? I can't remember for sure, but oh, wow, we have a few in Virginia. Oh, freezing rain last night, Beth? Ugh. Yeah. Mm. Only going to be 47 in Mississippi and 33 right now, Leah. Ugh, that's really cold for Mississippi. So you had freezing rain. I hate freezing rain, Beth. I'd rather have snow any day of the week than freezing rain. It's horrible. Hey, Gloria. But yeah, I was in southern Mississippi after Katrina doing hurricane relief work with the National Park Service. And it was hot. And that was like, I think it was October. Yeah, it was October. I got there at the very end of August, and I was there all through October, came home November 1st. So I was, and it's humid. That's right, Mary. It is really humid. I was in misery for the first few days, and it actually triggered a migraine. Which, speaking of migraines, because it was too hot, and I couldn't, and it was hard to breathe for me because we don't have that kind of humidity here. So it was pretty rough there for a while for me being down there because it was really hot. So, though I gotta say, I don't know if you're in southern Mississippi or if you're, towards the coast, Leah, or, up higher, like we flew into Jackson. I said, and but when it got towards the end of October and it got a little cooler, which it was much more comfortable, but when the wind blew off the bay, oh, it was cold, that wind. And which really surprised me because, I'm from northern Montana. The cold is not something that usually gets us too much. I mean, well, it gets us obviously, but we're a little more used to it. So when we got that wind that made it cold down there, I was like, wow. Oh, yeah, that's where I was at, Gulfport. When I went down to help after Katrina. I was they had us staying at the CD base there. Put thousands of us in one of those big warehouses they have there, just lined full of cots and stuff. It was definitely a different experience. But yeah. So yeah, I was there in Gulfport. So oh yeah, you were originally from New Jersey also, weren't you, Beth? Oh, you live right behind the base. Well, then I know exactly where you're at. So I remember coming home and some lady in there was a story in the paper about some lady who hadn't heard from her son in some time, and he lived on Beach Drive, and I'm like, I sort of just closed my eyes and went, "Oh God," because Beach Drive was destroyed during Katrina. I mean, the road itself was destroyed, let alone anything on it. So, nutsy. Yeah, Katrina did a number down there. Oh no. Oh no, that PK they got hacked again? Goodness gracious, they've been hacked what, 3, 4 times now at her husband's business? That sucks. So, oh, so there, Mary and Bridget are close, and I know that I'm pretty sure Karen Waters is there close by there also. Um, so that's cool. So let's turn down and we'll look at my FOC here. If I'd thought about it, I could have just brought my order from Randy over too, but like I said, I already boxed some of those beads up. But who is PK? PK Madsen is one of our group. Her husband owns a garage door repair shop. Oh, it's Karen and Rebecca. Well, I know that, Rebecca's husband is your plumber, right? Okay. Okay. I knew it was one of the other of them. I couldn't remember exactly who. I should have remembered about that it was Rebecca that lived there, because she has ordered things from me before. She had me make her a custom pair of earrings like the ones we made the other day. These, come here, people, baby. These ones that we made the other day from the Dusty Rose kit. I made her some in blue with some apatite. So, yeah. So I've sent things to her before. So I should have remembered that it was her. So yeah. Actually, speaking of earrings, and I put, like I said, a few more things in my Etsy shop. And you ladies were saying something about helping me get, some funds for various equipment, mainly the tripod right now. And I was thinking about it last night, and I thought, well, one other other than becoming a member, which does give me a bit of money, though I don't get it right away. We get that once I was going to say once a month, but that's not technically true. We're all given a threshold that we have to meet before they'll pay us anything, and mine's $100, and I've hit that the last 2 months, just a little over $100 in revenue, but from ads and such. But I know Randy gets a lot more than that but she does, but that's all right. And the last 2 months I've hit the threshold, but the 2 months prior to that, it took 2 months to hit it. And when I first started, it was taking me 3 months to hit it. So, there is those things. But so, so the other things I was thinking about is that, if we make something and you really like it, like Angel did the other day with the bracelet and asked me to, I'll put them on my Etsy shop and you can purchase them from there. And even though they do take fees, it still gives me money. So, and that's always helpful. And the other way, of course, is the super chats that you can do through here, which again they take about a third of whatever we make, but every little bit helps. So, but I was thinking if you buy something from the Etsy shop, which I do get funds from, then not only do I get some funds, but you get something that you like too. So, that's one way to think about it. So anyway, enough of money talk. We don't need to talk anymore of that. So let's turn down and we will look at my FOC. So here we go. Come on, are you going to flip? Hey, Marianne. Come on, flip. There we go. Thank you, Mary. That's very sweet. Thank you, Mary. Mary states that she gets something she loves every time I get to watch or participate in a live video. Well, Mary, you're one of my members, so I'll be on later on today too, as well as here. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to make. I'm actually debating making some more ribbon bookmarks because the last one of my ribbon bookmarks that was in my Etsy shop was purchased the other day, and I think I'm low 1 or 2 in my craft stuff. And I did make the one on my video the other day. Where did I put that? There it is. Now, the members have seen this already. The non-members have not. It's Saturday's video making this ribbon bookmark. So I may make a couple more this afternoon since I need some. And maybe not. We'll see. I never am sure what I want to do. Well, that's not true. Sometimes I've already made up my mind what I want to do, and then I change it. Because that's your prerogative to change your mind. So here is my items that I got in my FOC. Now this came in 2 baggies and the little crackle beads were in it, and I separated them and put them together in a slightly bigger bag and put the crackle beads in with the crystals. But when these came, I went, oh, those are the same beads I had last month. But I had 2 little baggies of them, and like I said, I put them together. But these are what was left from last month right here, and other than this one greeny colored bead, they're the same. So if I run out of these with whatever I make, I've got a few more here. So that's always cool. But I actually could put them together if I wanted to. But so those are the, where's my tray? These are the little purpley beads with the little turquoise seed beads in here. And there's a few of these pearls as well. Just dump them in there. So lots of those. And I could use these for one of my ribbon bookmarks because there's plenty of things to use there. Let's take my little heart and get it out of my way here. This is one of the little boxes that I was putting free gifts in for folks this last month, or this month, because it's February. More trays. So then this little baggie, like I said, has the little crystals in it, which I love, a clear crystal. And then the crackle beads, that they were in that package. I just separated them out. But now a crackle bead you have to be a little bit more careful with than a regular one because of the cracks in them. They'll break more easily. I used to have a cat. He passed away a few years back, but I used to have a cat that loved to take these dang crackle beads. He'd find them on like ribbon bookmarks or whatever and crunch down on them, and he'd break them. But I was always like, Chewy, stop. You're going to kill yourself one of these days chewing up the crackle beads because they're glass. Yes, she definitely has. The price has gone up a little bit, but it's I think they're really, really nice pieces that she's been putting in them lately. Yeah, cats like the shiny things, and they love to steal things. So anyway, we got this really cool moon bead that one of the other, was it Marianne, said she got this in her package too? Yeah. So it's cool because it has a crescent moon on one side. Well, he's facing this direction. And on the other side, it's got the full moon. And he's so cute. So we got to think of something really nice to do with this guy. So the other things we have are some vintage button beads in this, well, I think they call it iris wash. And so they're really pretty. So I've got different colors of button beads. I think they're really pretty. So I tend to get them whenever I see them. They're not always easy to find. But there's 4 of those in here. Our little moonlight right here. And then we have 4 of these, which I again think are really cool. But these ones are large hole. And a pretty good size hole there. These could definitely go on leather. Not sure how I want to do that. I might. It's definitely, like I say, could go on leather. And then the other item I got was 4 little like Saturn charms. You can go in there with these guys. So as you can see, they're one-sided. They're enameled on this side. So there we go. There's my FOC bag. All kinds of fun goodies in here. Let's take you back out and put you in with the button beads. But yeah, I have a real love for button beads. I think they're pretty. Now, from what I understand, how these are made, the button beads, is they're actually made in a button mold, you know, as two parts. And then instead of putting a shank on the back, they heat up some more glass and stick the two pieces together. And then, of course, drill the hole in. So I think they're pretty cool. So there we go. There is my FOC. Hey, Tina. Yeah, I love the moon bead too. Oh, so Priscilla got one as well. Now, my guess is that she broke a strand and maybe she used part of it, or they just took it and put they probably just put them in baggies. And then I think what Randy does, I could be mistaken, but I think what she does is they take and bag up various things and then they put them in various bins. And then, you know, obviously with the 4 beads here, these actually came as 2 different batches in this. So they weren't together as the 4 like I put them together. They were actually 2 in those little cellophane bags. And then, like I said, the crackle beads were actually over here in this bunch, but I took them out. But my guess is how she does these is she gets whatever beads they're going to get, they baggy them up in various ones, and then they put them in different bins, and then they just go along and grab 1 or 2 from each of the bins to make the FOC. Anyway, that would be how I would do it, because that would be the easiest way, and it would be pretty fair, you know. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear you have no heat in your vehicle. Cindy, I hope your toes thaw out nicely by the time you get to it. Oh, that's just not fun. Well, my daughter just got a new vehicle yesterday. She liked the car she had, and it was still in great shape and not that old, only like 4 or 5 years old, but she's had it for 3 years, and every year she's had to have the engine rebuilt because it gets too cold and freezes. This is not a cold a cold weather car. It wasn't, for sure. Though it's funny because it's the same style and year as her dad's car, and her dad has no trouble with this. Well, last year we all had trouble with it because it got so cold. It did damage to every one of our engines. But this year hers went out again, and she was like, what the heck is going on? And that's 3 years in a row. Same problem, 3 years. And it's cost like $2,000 to have it fixed each time. And after this time, she just said, you know, that's enough. I've had enough. I don't want to do this anymore. And so she traded it in and got a Jeep this time. So, and she's really happy with that. This big glass ball. Is this what you mean, Marianne? This is a, I got this in Lincoln City. Actually, I got 3 of them, and I gave 1 to each of my kids. Well, my daughter, my grandson, in different colors. This is blown glass. It's what they call a beach glass. It's not glass for the beach. It's made floats. That's what they are. They're glass floats. This one is made a little different because they put a bottom on it here, so it could be a decoration on your and I've got 2 really big ones. They're back here behind stuff, or I'd grab one out as well. They're paperweights, my bigger ones. So, but they look like the round glass ball. No, I did not make it. I got it at Lincoln City Glass Works on the Oregon coast. They used to let you make them, but then after COVID, they wouldn't let people go back into the place anymore. So here, I'll see if I can get it out. It's very heavy, so it doesn't want to move that well because it is solid glass. And this is my paperweight one. Let's see, it's what was made Oregon in 2021. And so this is made by the same company. But I got to design it and choose the colors. It's got a bubble in it. But and I really love this. It's heavy as all heck because it's solid glass. But you need a stool to get into her Jeep. My daughter's Jeep is a Jeep Compass, so it's SUV style. No, I didn't. They're not easy to find. Though Lincoln City, they make these. This is a solid one because it's a paperweight. But they make the hollow style like this, and without the base, of course, because they're making them as like floats. And in Lincoln, the Glassworks do the various Glassworks because there's like 3 or 4 of them down that way, and they donate them to the city, and the city goes around, and they call them beachcombers, their group, and they take these and they hide them on the beach. Now, we've never found one of those either, but we've always wanted to, and we always look because they hide at least a couple every weekend, and then they have times like what is the definite time? I can't remember what the definite times are of the year that they do it, but then they'll put down a whole bunch more, like a dozen, on certain holiday weekends and such. And if you find one, you get to keep it. All they do is they have a sticker on them telling you, where it was made, who made it, and when it was made. And they ask you to turn that sticker in so they know that that particular one was found. But that's all they ask of you if you find one. So this is my paperweight one that I had, like I said, I had made to my specifications. And it cost a bit. But heck, like I said, it's solid glass. And I think it's so, so pretty. But anyway, let's see if I can tuck it back into its spot here. Actually, maybe I'll just push the other stuff back and let it stay here up in front. Well, it's not going to go easily, so we'll just tuck it for right now. So, but yeah, this is just, this one is a float style, so it's hollow inside. But it's a really cute little desk decoration. I like it, and I use it sometimes when I'm taking pictures of my jewelry that I've made as a little extra decoration. Easter egg hunt with beads. Oh, fun. That would be fun. But if you're gonna do that, you need to put the beads in like eggs. Though I know there's a place in Washington where I got a Christmas ball for my Christmas tree, and I think is one of them back here? No. That that I got from a glass blower in, I guess it's Aberdeen, Washington. And he said he would give me classes if I wanted to blow something myself, but it was like $150, and I thought, oh well, that would be fun, but don't know if I want to do that. Yeah, exactly, Mary. Put them in the plastic, put some beads in one of the plastic hollow eggs. You might want to wrap them with something depending on how many you put in there, or just put a little baggie in them with them. Or like these. Put they're all going to fit in here. There we go. Now go find your heart. So anyway, those are, though I do say that sometimes these little lids don't want to stay on here real well on these little hearts. When I sent the last one, I actually put a little tape on it so it would stay put. But anyway, so I'm sitting here thinking, what do I want to do with my FOC here? That's a cute idea, Mary. Actually, I think if that is actually a really good idea. Put an egg and have a coupon or for something in it. That is an excellent thought. Not something I would have thought of, but every once in a while I'll do like a drawing, and if people buy a certain amount of things, then they get get a paper to fill out and put in the box for the drawing, and then they have to purchase such and such an amount. Like usually it's $25. Last year I raffled off a pair of fairy ears that way. Well, I guess you would call it a raffle. Might just call it a drawing of some kind, but it's always a fun thing. And boy, the lady who won the fairy ears last year just was so excited. It was sort of funny. And then I've done the same thing with you purchase $25 worth of things, and then I've let them fill out a little card and put them in a drawing for like a $20 gift certificate or something like that. Do I keep, I used to. I haven't done that in a long time, and I probably should if it's local people, especially to, fill out the little card and with their email address so you can send them some information. Now, I've heard another thing is you can make like a postcard, and I've never done this either, but it's something to think about. if you do, especially if you do a lot of shows. I'm sort of slimming down on the amount of shows I do, even though it makes me a lot of money. It's just gets tiring after a while. I'm not a young chicken anymore. I'm 67, so, it's not as easy as it used to be. Um, but, a postcard with all of the places you're gonna be on it. I did that this last Christmas because people were saying, "Are you gonna be here? Are you gonna be there?" So I did a little postcard saying which shows I was going to be at, which is helpful for folks that they might want something, but they might not have the money right then. Well, sometimes that works doing it that way for your customers, but since I make one of a kind things and I don't make any extras, if it's gone, it's gone. Yeah, I bet you were, Mary. Because I know that I'm getting sort of tired of it, and I was really, really disappointed that I didn't get into Sandpoint this year, which the Renaissance Festival, because it's always been one of my best shows, so I was pretty disappointed in that. So we've applied for a couple of other ones, and the one I usually do first in in April. My husband asked me if I really wanted to do it because he said you don't make you didn't hardly make anything this last year, and it's a lot of work for. Do you really want to do make just a few bucks profit? And I was like, yeah, no. so so I'm cutting down on my shows this year, but it's the way it goes. No, last year was not a good year. Every year, every show, well, I can't say every show. My Swan Lake show was actually up a couple $100. That was one of my best shows, and I've done it every year. And I don't mind doing this one. It's nice. It's a Huckleberry Festival, and my spot, since I've had the same spot for 5 years, it's right on the edge of Swan Lake. So I've got the lake behind me, and so and I'm back in the one corner where they have the food trucks at too. So I'm right across from the food trucks. So everybody comes down there, obviously, if they want to eat. So it's always been it's a nice place. So that was my best show last year, where I did the best, and I actually made a little more than my average at that show. But every other show I did last year, I actually my average take was down, and some of them way down, so I was pretty disappointed, but it was just that one of those type of years, and I'm a little worried about this year also because of all of the political stuff going on. I know, being a retired Park Service person, my husband still works for the Park Service. We've had a lot of controversy going on with the firing of all the probationary period people. So it's been sad state of affairs. And Glacier did lose a couple. So and it's just wrong. But hey, Helen. Yeah, exactly. The outdoor shows can be a bit like I have applied for the Beltane Festival, which is in May, and I haven't done it in past years because, well, it's in May and it's outdoors, and it's like, that's a iffy time of the year. Um, Sometimes you get this glorious weather, and other times it's like, eek, it's cold, it's windy, it's rainy, you can't predict it. So unfortunately, that's the way it goes. I don't think we're going to end up making anything today because it's already 49 minutes in. We only have 10 minutes left. But if I were to make something, it would be something pretty simple. I could make a ribbon bookmark with these, just use some of the button beads as our centerpiece, or even save all of these for something else and just put like a crackle bead as our centerpiece. No, I think I would use these. And I could use two of our little Saturns as charms at the end. Now, the one this other one that I made, this video is coming up on Saturday that members can see now, didn't have a charm on the bottom. I did the little wrap the ball stop bead kind of thing for this bottom one. But these, because I do have these little Saturn charms, I would probably put one of these charms on the bottom. And that's sort of the reason why I decided the button bead might be good, because these are, I always call this nebula because it looks, like those. So we could, let's put you guys aside because we don't want you guys anymore. We've got what we want out of there. These are probably going to go on leather or something like that, maybe even some rayon cord because they have a big hole in them. So we can put those back there. Oops. And then we'd put some beads. Maybe we will put a crackle bead on either side. These are India glass, I'm pretty sure, these purpley ones, so they're slightly different sizes. You got to watch for that if you want them to be exactly the same. See, this one's a little bigger. We'll take, I think this one's more the size. So I'd need to then get some spacers and some ribbon, and we'd put these babies together like so. What cord do I use for these? These are ribbon. This is ribbon. It's a really thin little ribbon. See if you can see it better if I bring it up. See, it's just a thin little ribbon. And then I put the little ends on here. So this, I think we're going to do this like this. I think I still have some little daisy spacers beside me. I put most of my spacers away. So these are already in a box, so I didn't bother to. So I'd put a daisy between each one here. It's 4 I need, right? Yep. Hey, where'd the 4th one go? Actually, I could probably put this together pretty fast since I already got it designed. So what you need to do is I need some, let's see, what color do we have here that I want to use? Might as well use lapis. And I need some gold crimp beads, or tubes, I should say. I should have some gold ones down in here. Here is the tube. This is actually going to be quite pretty. I like it. I could get some of my stars out and put the stars with it too if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. So crimp tubes. There's a seed bead in there. How intriguing. I only need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A few inches of this out. I always like to give myself a little extra. Now I used to put these on, just put them on hemp cord and knot these, but of course that breaks more easily than the beading wire does, so I don't want to break my bookmarks to break, so I've switched to doing them on beading wire because I think it's just as good. So since this has got a charm, we'll put the charm on the bottom here. Now my little moon face has obviously got to be, I'm going to make it either into a bracelet, this guy, into a bracelet or a necklace. I'm actually leaning towards a bracelet, as him as the focal of a bracelet, but I don't know. Have to decide. Swoosh, turn, and swoosh. Okay. Just put our beads on like we have them set out here. Go for both. Now, I always jump ring these onto my, onto the, what do you call it? It's the ends where you hook it onto your ribbon. I always jump ring them because those pieces are sometimes a little sharp. And I know some people would tell me to use a wire guardian because of the sharpness, but I don't really care for wire guardians because I don't think they're safe either. I mean, I've had them break. I've had my cord get cut by the wire guardian because they are a hunk of metal. And sometimes they just are sharp. But, and a wire guardian frequently won't go through the hole because the hole tends to be really small for these guys, for the carrier pieces. So if you're thinking about making one of these and you want to use a wire guardian, that's fine. I mean, everybody can do what they want. But I would advise, number one, to always run your finger over the ends of your wire guardian because sometimes they have that sharp edge on them. They are a hunk of metal. And make sure they don't have a sharp spot. And then make sure they'll also go through your carrier's loop because they won't always. I've had them so they're too tight. So there's one side done. And what I'm talking about when I say your carrier, let's see if I can find one quickly here. Where are you guys? Oh, here you are in the gold. We've got, this is some of my old findings box. I don't use these very often. There's my round jump rings. But we've got these little guys. These little guys are what we're talking about. There's 2 stuck together here. Okay, you want to be, oh, actually both sets has 2 stuck in it. Yeah, we'll get them apart. So these guys, come on. There, where'd you go? There you are. So then what I'm talking about is this little loop right here. Sometimes a wire guardian won't go through it because it's pretty small. And, but it can be a little sharp. I can feel it right now. So that's why I use a jump ring. Another thing I usually do with these is see how long the prongs come up on the edge side? These are the fold over pieces. And if you look, they're actually bigger than this. Well, that's because a lot of these are actually made for using on leather. So when I get one of these, or when I'm going to use one of these, I take and cut off. Come on, baby. I'll go down here and I'll grab part of it and I'll snap it off and do the same on the other side. So now when they fold over, they can fold more flatly into there. See how now it's smaller here because I cut the edges off. Sometimes these come with a little prong in them. You don't want the little prong when you're using ribbon. That's great for leather or even for cording of some kind. But that little prong that's inside there will cut ribbon. I've had it happen to me before. It's no fun when you get it all finished, go to put it together, and then the ribbon gets torn. So I'm going to get a couple of little tiny jump rings to put these onto here when I put the ribbon in here. And when I do, I'm not going to put hook this on until after I have the ribbon in, because it's in some cases it helps because it keeps it from flopping around so much. In other times it's a hindrance because it's got all that it's got that hanging off and it wants to move. So these are the little ends. Cut this one down a little bit deeper than the other one, but it'll still work because when it folds over, they'll touch. So you just take your ribbon. Just a minute, I'll be right back. Okay. I have a drawer of different colored ribbons. So here's this one. It'll go real good because it matches the crackle beads. So I just use this kind of spool ribbon that you can get at like Walmart or any sewing place. And then we take a touch of super glue and put it down in here and then fold over the ends tightly over it. And how I decide how long I want is I just get a paperback book. I don't have one here. And I take it from spine to spine, from the edge of the book to the edge of the book, add about a ½ inch on each side, and then I cut it to that length. So, because I usually make these for paperback books. Now, if you wanted them for a hardcover book, obviously a hardcover book is going to be larger. So you're going to need to cut a bigger piece. But I usually make mine for paperback books. So, and that's just a personal preference. And I thought I had 4 of these here, and there's only one left, which means I either flipped one somewhere or I only got 3 out. So do this exactly the way we did the other one. So I think this one's going to make a really pretty bookmark, and it's probably going to go up into my Etsy shop, even though I think I need a couple in my craft stuff too, but my Etsy shop, they're all gone. And I do have one customer from the East Coast that buys them every once in a while. Come on, little, go on there. Go on there. Oh, I guess I did have all of them that I needed. Duh, I already had 2 on this one. So now, because these are not really sitting side by side or something like that, I don't care as much if the little loops are a slightly different size than the other side, because you're not going to really see that much, especially when it's over when it gets in the book. It's going to just be oops. Cut this off. Come on, you. So there's our 2 little speed strands. And now we just need to cut the ribbon and put it in the carriers and hook them on. So in order to decide what length I want this, I probably could measure it one of these days, but I need a book, just need a paperback book, which I have a ton of them around this house because my husband and I are both readers. We have lots of books. Okay. Here's a paperback book. And since most paperback books are the same size, unless they're trade paper marks, which are bigger, obviously, we would just take your ribbon and lay it across your book. Add, like I said, about ½ inch to either side. That's good, about right there. And since this is ribbon, I'm just going to take scissors and we'll just cut it off. There's my ribbon. So then we just need to get some super glue. I use the Loctite because it's a little bit more too easily to control. Let's put these aside so we don't get them nasty. Get my silicone mat. And I'll take these guys. Whoops, come back here, you. Stuck to my finger. Oh, it's still a little sticky. I was resining on there the other day, so it's usually the things can pull off these silicone mats real easily, but this resin is sort of sticking to it, which is weird. But see, like this is glue over here, and I can pull it right off. But anyway, so what you want to do then is you put them in opposite directions, obviously, because you don't want them, the loop to go. Take your super glue, get a drop out, put it right in the middle of your carrier piece right there. Come on, get out of the way. I do not know what these are called. I've never really thought about it. I got silver ones from Randy once before, but they have the prongs, so you need to cut the prongs off if you're using ribbon. Like I said, it will cut the ribbon. The prongs will cut the ribbon because the ribbon is pretty thin. So I'm going to get my bent nose pliers, which I rarely ever use, but they can poke it down in here. So we'll put it on here, and we'll just sort of poke it into the glue. Let it dry for a few minutes. This one's going to dry if I don't put the ribbon in it, though, on the other side here. Oops, don't stick to me. You came out on this side. I was afraid of that. Well, obviously they don't want to go on at the same time here. But so then I'm going to take hold and I'm going to push the prongs forward some. Then I'm going to carefully get hold of it. Try and hold the end of the ribbon just at the very tip of your fingers, because you only want to do one of these at first. And this is why I frequently let it dry a little longer before I do this. So push the one over, then bring the second one down, which the first one isn't down all the way, I don't think. And push down hard. You want to flatten this pretty good so that it's not going to come out before it finishes drying. So now that we've got that side done, we'll go back over here and get this one done. Oops, come on, baby. On there. So there's our ribbon on. You want to let it dry for a little while. I'm going to wipe my pliers off because see how it's getting glue on it here from doing that? Scrape them off before it dries permanently onto there. There we go. Now we don't need this anymore. Well, they're not quite dry, but so I probably should leave it on there, but we can live without it. So then I'll get a couple of little tiny jump rings and I'll hook these on either side. I'm sorry, Beth. Leather cord ends, yeah. The width of this ribbon is really thin. Let's see if it says. I've never really measured it, so it's 10 yards of 1/8 or 3 millimeter, 100% polyester ribbon. And it comes on a spool. When I bought this, it cost 99 cents. It doesn't anymore. It's probably more like $2 or $3 nowadays for a spool, but it's a very thin one. So just take a couple of jump rings. And I have my little tiny 4 millimeter Tinky Tots here beside me in this little jar. So we'll dump a couple of those out. I said a couple. Get off my finger. This side's still a touch damp, but I think they're dry enough that I can hook these on without a problem. So we just take one of these tiny jump rings. Go through the slot here. And then onto our bead strand. Close her up. Okay. Now we'll go to the other side and put the other bead strand on. Now, when you got a charm that's not two-sided, see this one's only one-sided, you want to make sure that you roll your hand up your ribbon and see which side your charm is facing, so that you have your both charms facing the same way. Okay, I think this is the one I want right here. Now she's finished. So we have the little bead strand on both sides and the ribbon in between. And how this works is you just open up your book or wherever you're finished reading at. You take your ribbon, drop it down through the middle here, and then your bead strands hang out both sides like so. So there we go, all finished. Now, I just had to make one of these the other day for my daughter because she's a CNA up at one of our local hospitals. We have two. And she had her book there, and so she could read it at lunchtime and such. Or if she gets assigned just one patient, then she can keep an eye on them while she's reading. But she came back from her break. She had gone outside, and her book was sitting on the desk with a ribbon bookmark in it. And she came back, and instead of the ribbon bookmark, there's a piece of paper in her book, and they said, with a note that said, "I really liked your bookmark, so I took it." I'm like, okay. Okay, I'm going to turn the other direction again. It was very rude. So I made her a new one. But so anyway, there's our bookmark all finished. Simple little thing. And they're so pretty. And like I said, you just open your pages up, slide the ribbon in between the pages, and let your bead strand hang out either side. And that's why I say put an extra 1/2 inch there, so that you've got a little bit hanging here and enough hanging at the top so that it will go down the spine if you are sitting it somewhere. But so they turn out really nice. I think I really like them. Like I say, when I first started making bookmarks of this style, I just used a hemp cord. And I still do when I use my acrylic bead ones. My grandson complained when he was little that he wanted one. And but he wanted some, and so I took and I make them with acrylic beads as well. As instead of with the ribbon, I just use a piece of hemp cord, and I string the beads on with a knot on either end, and then just go with hemp cord. So you're going to make some of these today. Like I said, if you've got everything, sorry, hit a wrong button. Didn't mean to do that. So anyway, they're real simple to make. If you've got everything to make them, you can make them obviously in just a few minutes. It took us about ½ hour to make this one, maybe a little longer, because we started at 10 till. So yeah, a little over ½ hour. So they don't take long to make. Like I said, the video for Saturday, I'm making another one, but instead of putting a charm on the bottom, I did a stop bead. So you can see how to do that one. And actually that one was the first one I'd made in a long time. And I got the ribbon on a little crooked here on this side. It's not a big deal, but it is a little crooked. So it irritates me because, I don't like things that aren't just the way I think they should be. But like I said, if you have some hemp cord and just want to make it with one with hemp cord, and especially if you got acrylic beads and you just want to, just experiment with something simple, you can just put some acrylic beads on hemp cord and just knot it. Actually, I've never done it, but you probably could even do it with some Ceylon, though it would be pretty thin with just some Ceylon in there, and just knot it. But this one or the other one? This is the one we just finished. Like I said, this one has charms at the bottom. The one I made for the video that's coming out on Saturday, this one. This is where I had the crooked spot right here, because I didn't, the ribbon slid a little bit in the carrier when I was putting it on. But so there's the pink one. These beads are really cool. If you see, this side looks sort of plain, but this side has the other side has AB on it. Flip it. See how much prettier that is with the swirl in it? But I think those are pretty. This is the pink one. And like I said, I got the ribbon in the carrier just a little bit crooked, so it irritates me, but it's not a really big issue. You know, you can just get one of these spools of ribbon just about, like I said, at just about any store that sells sewing things. As far as the crimp ends are concerned, I got my last bunch from Randy, and I don't remember where I got these others. I have a whole bunch of them because I use them all the time. Or I got them a long time ago. You don't use a lot, and they come in I think they come in like a package of 100. I have the ones from Randy here somewhere close by. And of course, because I want them, I'm not going to find them. But the ones I got from Randy have the little prong in them. And like I said, if you're going to use that style, and ribbon, you want to cut the prong off. I think they're designed more for like leather, whereas you can push the prong onto the leather. And, oh, you could macrame a Ceylon ribbon. That might be pretty. You never can tell. You might like it a lot. Yeah, these are great for stockings, Anita. I've put them in Christmas stockings before. I usually put them in like say this little heart. You can just twist it around and put it inside here. Or even a little baggie if you don't have something like this. Anyway, just twist it around and put it into the case here. And then stick it in there in the Christmas stocking. It would be perfect. The ribbon doesn't want to go in, but that's all right. We can get it to. See, in there. Because it is all bendable stuff that's easily put into something else and then straightened back out. And I know that they do have larger carriers than or end crimp ends, whatever you want to call them, because I've got some larger ones in gold if you wanted to use a larger ribbon. Oops, come on, baby. So this is the smaller one like we just used with this 1/8 inch ribbon. See, it's pretty tiny. But I also have them. They cost a little more. I don't use these very often because they are for a larger ribbon. See how they're bigger? I think this is probably for a 1/4 inch ribbon. Oops, come here. See if I can get hold of you again here. So we can do a comparison here side by side. See the difference in the sizing there? So this is for an 1/8 inch ribbon. This is for a 1/4 inch ribbon. I don't use the 1/4 inch ribbon ones very often because I don't have very much 1/4 inch ribbon. I used to buy those spools of the 1/4 inch ribbon all the time because they used to be really cheap. But, 99 cents is what I paid for that one. So I've got them all different colors. Sorry, I was off camera, Dorothy. That is still, to this day, and I've been doing this for a couple of years now, well, at least over a year, and I still go off camera, and it just ticks me off when I realize I did it, because it's like, you put your cream-colored mat right here so that it's right where you need to be in your camera, and you still go off. How do you do that? So... Thank you, Kimberly. That would be very nice if everybody hits the like button. Though actually, it looks like I have 24 people on it and I've had 22 likes. So most everybody has hit the like button. So I appreciate that. That helps me quite a bit with my funding. Not entirely because of the likes per se. It's because the advertiser, the more people you have and the more people who like what you do, then you get more advertiser people that want to come onto your channel. So, and we get paid by how much advertisements want to pay for going onto their site. The more people watch the advertisements, the more we get. So it's weird little funding things. Oh, really? Wow. Well, now mine is saying that I have 24 people on and 25 likes, which tells me that we lost a few. But I think that Beth said she left, was leaving because her husband was making more noise than she liked. So, anyway, we have this beautiful bookmark that we made from our beads from our Thunder Horse Descendant Found Objects Challenge kit. And like I said, I'm leaning towards a bracelet for the big bead. See, he'd be a focal. Oh, except for he's sideways. I just realized that his hole is up and is here and here. So maybe he's going to be a necklace pendant instead of a bracelet, which is too bad, but that's the way it goes. But oh, you got a phone call, Mary? Yeah, that happens, doesn't it? Actually, we had one come on while I was here and I dismissed it because it was said, my phone says it was spam. I don't need any spam calls. Well, we've been on for an hour and a half. Nothing new about that, right? So we're going to take off for the day and I'll see the members at 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, which would be noon on the Pacific Coast, 2 Central, and 3 on the East Coast. So I'll see the members then. We should just plan on 1.5 hours. Yeah, that sounds about right because that's about what we do, isn't it? So we will see you all. I'll see the members later on to this afternoon, and then anybody who wants to join us tomorrow morning, Randy will be on at her normal time tomorrow morning, but so I will be on my normal live time tomorrow morning, which is 10 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, which would be 9 o'clock on the Pacific Coast and 11 Central and 12 for the East Coast. So, so everybody, we'll see you. We'll see some of you later on this afternoon, and hopefully we'll see the rest of you tomorrow. Like I said, Randy is going to be on her normal time, and I start my live 2 hours after her. So I'll have to try and figure out something to do tomorrow morning. I'll have to figure out something to do this afternoon too. I was thinking of making the bracelet I said we could do, but then I noticed my focal bead goes sideways and I don't want it to be sideways. So we'll do something else. We'll figure out something. We'll see you later. This has been Rose for this has been Rose for In Rose's Garden, and I've been substituting for Randy Brown of Thunder Horse Descendant for her morning coffee talks. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. Yes, the focal bead does need to be on a necklace, Mary.